Welcome to Nugget 296 with Steve and Dana Groman, and we're continuing on our unique dinosaur tour, and we are in the state of Utah. Utah is home to more different dinosaur fossils than any other states, and they have many museums and sites, and we're going to take you to two today. One sunny afternoon, we investigated two locations north of the Moab airport, exposed in the very prolific Morrison Formation on the east side of U.S. Highway 191. The Copper Ridge Sauropod track site was discovered in 1989. Across the ripple-marked sandstone, the large dinosaur tracks include 2-foot diameter Apatosaurus footprints and 8 to 15-inch three-toed Allosaurus footprints. On the west side of U.S. Highway 191, follow the BLM signs along Mill Canyon Road to the Mill Canyon Dinosaur Trail to see real sauropod ribs, vertebrae, tailbones, foot bones, and leg bones in situ on the self-guided trail. Please respect these outdoor museums because there are no guards or fences, and there is no charge either. One of the first things you'll come to at Mill Canyon is this sign, and it talks about the changing environment. The rocks of southeast Utah record the dynamic and changing environments of the past. The landscape you see here represents over 200 million years of geologic history, back to when a great dune field covered much of northern America, including southeastern Utah. During the early Jurassic, small communities of dinosaurs lived in this dry, constantly windy environment. A gap in the rock record leaves us to wonder what transformed the barren land into a tropical rainforest. This warm and wet environment allowed for the explosion of dinosaur life between 155 and 144 million years ago, recorded here in the Morrison Formation. Now, we know that all of this is not true. It's what the evolutionists believe and teach, but we know that is not what really happened. We know that the biblical account of creation and Noah's flood is what explains these formations perfectly, and the reason that we find dinosaur footprints and dinosaur bones preserved so well in the rock. During the Middle Jurassic, between 165 and 172 million years ago, wet periods punctuated the dry dune environment as shallow inland seas inundated the area and then receded. Mineral and fossil remains indicate that only small, short-lived wetlands, creatures, and adaptable microbiotic organisms lived on the barren tideflat that stretched for miles. And we have talked in many nuggets about this inland sea that the evolutionists have to have because they cannot explain why there would be such lush vegetation, so much evidence of water. And we know that evidence of water is from Noah's flood. The Morrison Formation is made up of a complex series of clays, shells, and sandstones. These deposits were made when conifer forests, including redwoods, towered over sycamores, laurels, ferns, and horsetail in a basin environment dotted with lakes and crisscrossed by sluggish rivers. This lush tropical environment was the perfect playground for some of nature's largest creatures, including Camptosaurus, Allosaurus, Camarasaurus, and Stegosaurus, whose fossils are seen along the trail. And we know why it was a lush tropical environment that is recorded here. It was the pre-flood world, which was a lush environment where these large creatures lived. But now to the site. The next sign reads, The Dinosaur Trail of Mill Canyon. Researchers have concluded that the ecosystem of the Jurassic was very different than anything on Earth today. Well, the pre-flood world definitely was different than the world today, wasn't it? During the mid-Jurassic, seaways and rivers crisscrossed the low-lying continents in a tropical and subtropical paradise teeming with life. It was paradise. That's how God originally designed it. The largest megafauna of the day were plant-eating sauropods, whose remains are visible in the sandstone shelf across the drainage. The largest sauropod, the 60-foot-long Camarasaurus, weighed nearly 20 tons and spent their time feeding on conifers, sycamores, cypress, and yew trees. Smaller Stegosauruses and Camptosauruses also lived and died along the riparian zones. And we know that they were plant-eating because everything before the flood was instructed by God to eat plants. Along the trail there were many signs, and this is one. Allosaurus femur. If you look 15 feet to your right at the edge of the sandstone, you will see a variety of fossilized bones. These include a sauropod fibula, a leg bone, an Allosaurus femur, a thigh bone, part of a Camptosaurus femur, and pieces of a Stegosaurus. Allosaurus was a powerful meat-eating dinosaur that grew to a length of 30 feet. We know he was meat-eating after the flood, but he certainly wasn't before the flood. Camptosaurus and Stegosaurus were each about 20 feet long. Both ate plants. Stegosaurus is characterized by a double row of large plates running down its back. This was is really an incredible sight in that there is no one out there, no one to protect these things. Everyone that goes there just has to do the right thing and not disturb this fabulous outdoor museum. 4 feet to your left and at ground level are various bones of a sauropod, probably a Camarasaurus. This is a good location to note the texture and coloring of these fossilized bones. You will be seeing more along the trail. Please stay on the trail at all times. Here are sauropod tail bones and sauropod ribs and shoulder blade. Hopping back in the car and driving across 191 to the dinosaur tracks of Copper Ridge. The tracks preserved here include those of 5 meat-eating dinosaurs of various sizes and one of a large sauropod dinosaur, a plant-eating animal that likely weighed close to 18 tons. The trackways cross what was 150 million years ago, a ripple-marked sandbar along a river. No, it wasn't 150 million years ago. The sauropod, possibly Camarasaurus, seems to have made a right turn here. The large theropod that left its tracks to the east may have been an Allosaurus, a hunter capable of traveling up to 30 miles per hour. The tracks here are preserved at the top of the Salt Wash, member of the Morrison Formation. And the Morrison Formation is the most prolific formation in this region. Again, we note, there are no guards or fences here. You, the visitor, are the protector of this valuable resource. Remember, like the dinosaurs, leave only footprints. Take only photographs. Please do not take plaster cast of these dinosaur tracks. Casting is illegal and harms the tracks. The sandstone rocks that the tracks are in are very porous. Unlike trackways, in harder stones, the sandstone absorbs the plaster and breaks off when the plaster is removed. Plaster casting is not allowed for this reason. What you see today will last a lifetime. Seize those life-changing moments. And here are our shadows alongside an Allosaurus dinosaur track at Copper Ridge, Utah. Hit the notification bell to be alerted when we post new nuggets and Saturday history and travel tips on our YouTube channel. If you appreciate our content, tell others and repost on your social platforms. Thank you.